Disillusion has a bizarre retro aesthetic that makes us feel like we've been blasted back to the 90s against our will. Except this time we are graced with some unusually strong hallucinogens. It's kind of like a surreal, nostalgic, psychedelic, isekai, dungeon crawler RPG, and that's not a bad thing. Overall, I would say Disillusion's presentation is a rare mix of ludicrous and timeless. The sheer number of absurd characters, unique environments, and charming animations is astonishing. Being a 3D artist and animator myself, I have nothing but respect for this developer, and maybe a dash of envy. Regardless, it's not often that games impress me like this one did. Even considering all of the AAA games with grandiose designs and cutting-edge technology, Disillusion can easily hold its own. However, the novelty doesn't stop there. The soundtrack is one of the best I've heard in a video game. I'm not suggesting that every track is perfect in terms of production and composition, but insofar as Disillusion's narrative, it could not be more fitting. A carefully crafted blend of dissonance and resonance creates a soundscape that mirrors the emotions of the player. This fascinating fusion of enigmatic sounds, shapes, and colors presented in Disillusion are bound to resonate with most players. Disillusion slowly plunges us into a whirlpool overflowing with emotions, insight, and a touch of insanity. And it does so without taking any precautionary measures. But this oversight makes the experience more novel, more palpable, more real. The countless variegated facets of the human experience are displayed using what looks like a fantastical palette, at least at face value. But this fantasy is merely a manifestation of the mind of the observers, thus revealing a persistent undercurrent of disillusionment. Underneath those playful masks appear to be something akin to real people with real problems. Their psyche has been discarded in favor of a physical expression of their emotions that completely disregards the confines of reality as they once knew. The crushing uncertainty of life, death, and the human condition are thrust upon you without hesitation. As you play Disillusion and familiarize yourself with the characters, you may start to realize things about yourself. Uncomfortable things, beautiful things, curious things. Perhaps you may be inspired to create your own means of reflecting on the eternal fantasy we call life. Through interacting with the bizarre world of Disillusion in other unique ways, you acquire an even more thorough understanding of what life is. Disillusion handles interactivity using elements of retro dungeon crawlers, point-and-click games, deck builders, visual novels, roguelikes, and RPGs. Basically, if indecision was a genre, this game would fit right in. That being said, I think the gameplay is great. This unusual combination of genres makes for a healthy amount of unpredictable encounters, despite the consistent general theme. The combat may be a bit tedious for some, but you're also given the option to forego combat altogether. This allows you to simply talk to a cast of fun characters without being jump-scared by this oddly unsettling, dull thing. Whether you opt in for combat or not, most of the interactions and altercations are memorable. Many encounters are paired with dozens of fun animations, sound effects, and items. There are plenty of varied responses you can receive from characters you interact with based on how you engage with them. I'm not going to go into specific details regarding the dialogue. You'll have to go experience that on your own time, but I think it's definitely worth listening to. It's structured in a way that slowly illuminates the world around you and helps make sense of the mysterious locales of Disillusion. Disillusion's structure is convoluted, but it fits the overall theme. The puzzling passages of Naraka, the realm these entities inhabit, are designed in a way that makes you feel like you're going everywhere and nowhere at the same time. If that doesn't make sense, then just imagine yourself as a cute dog fervently chasing its tail to no avail. Like the dog, everything you chase has some value, whether or not the information is immediately relevant to your pursuits. Running in circles is bound to help the dog meet its cardio requirements, which in turn helps it become a better hunter. But I digress. The story of Disillusion is presented in a somewhat linear fashion that gives the player some freedom regarding which stories you choose to read first. However, the frequency of specific NPCs is noticeably higher than others. Occasionally you will find yourself wandering around the levels in an effort to find something you haven't already encountered. This is remedied with the inclusion of warp orbs that can teleport you to specific locations. Likewise, there are friendly characters that may offer to take you to a specific location if you're lucky. Just like in real life, sometimes things are not what they seem, so take your time and explore all of the unusual environments of Disillusion. If you concern yourself with completing the game rather than enjoying the experience, it'll likely be less memorable. Disillusion isn't the kind of game that you forget a week after completing it, assuming you actually experience a decent chunk of what this game has to offer. There are a lot of things to do in this game. It's like you're stuck inside of an arcade with curiously low resolutions, maze-like hallways, and whatever these things are. So basically it's not an arcade, but I put that metaphor in the script and thus I must read it unless I want the gods of literature to punish me. Speaking of literature, the writing in this game has plenty of nuance and is open to interpretation. I am genuinely interested in hearing others' thoughts about the lessons they learned from Disillusion, assuming they learned anything. It's possible that this game will confuse some players from beginning to end, and that's okay. Games like this are not for everyone, but I think Disillusion is a good game and highlights the potential of video games as a creative medium. If you have time, be sure to check out the developer's YouTube channel to stay up to date with new music and animations for their next game that is currently in development. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep exploring.